All right, so the section that comes along with circles, and then you'll be assessed on this stuff, are parabolas. So parabolas, there's a decent amount of stuff, so you are lucky in that you are home, so you will have access to this chart as you are taking, say, doing the homework or doing any of the worksheets or any of the assessments that I give you. So definitely keep this chart somewhere safe, rewrite it, whatever you have to do to understand, number one, how to use it, and what all the variables mean. So we talk about a parabola. A parabola is a U-shaped graph. It could be a happy face, it could be a sad face, it could be a sideways face, either left or right. Usually you've only seen ones that go up or down. Now you're going to start to see ones that go left or right as well. A parabola is a curve that consists of all points in the coordinate plane that are the same distance from the focus. So the focus is actually, if you closed a parabola, think of it like a mouth. The focus is inside of the parabola, and then a given line, which is going to be on the outside of the parabola. The following chart is going to summarize the important information that you need to know about parabolas. So, standard form of a parabola, just like we had standard form of a circle. We have two columns here because if you look all the way on the bottom, it tells you which way it opens, basically. So, one sec. So if the parabola opens up or down, which is this column right here, okay? So even if you want to just draw yourself so you know which way they open, up or down, this is the standard formula that you're going to use. So if it opens up or down, think it's going to be somewhere symmetric or around the y-axis. It's going in the same direction as the y-axis, so the standard format is going to be y equals. You get y equals a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. The axis of symmetry, and we're going to go over all these things in a minute, is x equals h. The vertex, or the center point, is hk. The focus is calculated with h, comma, k plus 1 over 4a, and the directrix is a line, so y equals k minus 1 over 4a. So if we look at the one right underneath it, if we just sort of dissect a little bit here, it says, in the parabola shown, the point 2, negative 2, this guy right here, okay? So the point 2, negative 2, that is your vertex. The point 2, 0, which again, think of it like closing the mouth of the parabola, that is your focus. It's inside. The line y equals 4, that is a line behind, that is the directrix. And the line x equals 2, which would do something like this, it cuts right through the vertex point, that is your axis of symmetry. Which, what you're going to be doing is you're going to abbreviate this AOS. So you do not need to write the whole entire thing out. So that is if it opens up or down. So now the flip of that is if we flip the direction. So now we're going to open left or right, which means we have a sideways parabola going this way. Okay, so now it's going in the same direction the x-axis is. So that means the standard format needs to be x equals, and it's x equals a parentheses y minus k squared plus h. And you notice things change. The axis of symmetry shifts. The vertex does stay the same. Where the focus, or where the 1 over 4a gets added, is going to shift as well. And the directrix value, notice the value of the variable matches with the variable that you had in the standard format. And then these are ones that are going to open right, or they're going to open left. If A is positive, it opens right. If A is negative, it's going to open left. So you want to keep this chart next to you because there is a lot of information here that you're going to be calculating. And so you definitely want to make sure that you have it close to you so that you're able to use it as a reference. All right, so let's start off with the first one. So we're basically, for every single one of these, you're usually identifying everything. So you're going to identify axis of symmetry, vertex, focus, directrix, and direction of opening, and then you're going to sketch it. So what I would highly suggest is make a chart. So we have vertex, axis of symmetry, focus, and we have the directrix. Oops, one more, direction of opening, direction opens. I'm going to put D opens. Okay. So we see a y equals, so just like we had done for circles, it might be helpful to write the actual standard format right above it, just so you can see who goes with who. You also might even want to maybe just identify A, H, and K. So A is in front of the parentheses. We don't see it, so it's a 1. H is going to be 3, and K is going to be -4. It just might help to identify what those are on the sidelines. So your vertex, if we look at the chart above, first of all, it's a y equals equation. So this is an up or down format. A is positive, which means this is going to open up. So I always like to just draw arrows. You can also write UP for up, but certainly you can just use an arrow. So if it opens up, our vertex is H comma K. Well, we already identified that we have 3, -4. Our axis of symmetry is going to be x equals h. So there are definitely some technicalities here, so please make sure it is an equation. So you need to have x equals 3. If you just write 3, you will lose points. The focus is a point. That point is h, 3, comma, k, plus 1/4 times a. So 1/4 times 1. And what you are going to have to do is you are going to have to simplify these. You are not allowed to give fractions. You are not allowed to give decimals. You are going to have to give fraction answers for these. So when you simplify, 3 is 3, but you have -4 plus 1/4. So you can either tell me -15/4, or what you can do is tell me 3 and then -3 3/4. It does not matter, but it has to be in fraction form. I will not accept the decimals. You have to practice with the fractions so you're ready to go for next year. All right, Directrix is an equation. It's a y equals standard form equation, which means the Directrix is y equals. It is k minus 1/4 times a. So we have -4 minus 1/4. So you can either write y equals -4 and 1/4, or y equals -17/4. But again, this is a line, which means I should see a y equals variable in front. So when you sketch it, that's probably the easiest out of all of them. Your vertex is at 3, -4. So when you plot it and you label the vertex. Draw me a dotted line to designate the axis of symmetry so I can see where it has to be symmetric with respect to, and it opens up, which means you just want to make sure your parabola is symmetric about that dotted line. The only points that have to be labeled are the vertex in terms of numbers, but I should see a dotted line showing me where your axis of symmetry falls as well. All right, one more on page 1. Let's do this. All right, so we still are in the y equals, so I'm just going to write the equation up above. So a is 2 in this case, h is -7, and k is equal to +3. So our vertex is h comma k, so -7, 3. Axis of symmetry is still x equals our h value, which is -7. Focus is a point, so we have h comma k plus 1/4 times a, so it's 3 plus 1/8. When you simplify that down, you get -7 and either 3 1/8, or -7 and 25/8, either one. For the Directrix, remember that is an equation. So that is y equals 3 minus 1/4 times a value, or 1/4 times 2, so 3 minus 1/8. You can either write 2 7/8, or what you can write is y equals 23/8. And the direction of opening, a is still positive, so it's still going up. So when we plot this one, our vertex, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, -7, 3. Our axis of symmetry is at x equals -7, and the parabola opens